Good morning, everyone, and happy Monday to you. Oh, I'm
Hey,
loving the hat, Rodney.
that's right. Got my
Yeah.
Stetson on. Got my cowboy Stetson on, and happy good morning and happy Monday to everybody. I hope welcome to the chat session here on the This Way Network, and hope you're having a great kickoff to Monday. So, how's everything going there, Nina? How was your weekend?
Oh, it's been great. It's been great. The weather has turned cooler. We're finally having fall. I was able to put on a
Hmm.
little bit of flannel this
There
morning,
you
which I
go.
loved.
I
Yeah.
got my flannel on. Look, got a little bit of flannel, so we're
Yes,
all.
yes. And it seems appropriate, doesn't it, for our topic today?
That's
You're
right.
wearing
That's right.
plaid and check flannel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, everybody, we're here. It's me and Nina. And so welcome to the chat session here on the This Way Network. And real excited today because the whole kick to today is really
Mhm.
where the music industry is going concerning country soul. And so uh, last weekend, I was actually at a big festival here. It was the Soul Country Music Festival, Soul Country Music Star Festival. And so there's a wonderful group here in Los Angeles, and they have been in the push along with my colleague, Mr. Marvin Spruill from the Country Soul Music Magazine. And so the big push is hey, let's open up the music industry. And we are excited because there's a new genre that has always been around. Country soul's been around a long time. It goes all the way back to Ray Charles, and that goes way, way back. But a lot of people don't know that Ray Charles, three of his biggest albums were country. And so people didn't know that all of these wonderful things. And we got a lot of great people on this morning and saying hello. Hey, Kimba, we got Kimba coming in saying hello and a few other people. And man, I tell you, DeAndre Adams, dear brother DeAndre, he's actually running for city council. He's going to be running for city council. I'm looking to be his campaign manager. So looking forward to that. That man right there, DeAndre Adams, he's a veteran and he's worked in security. He's been a guy that's done some very high level, you know, entertainment security. I mean, he entertains the big, big stars, but his know how and care for people as well as the youth all across the city of Los Angeles. And he cares about people who are homeless and needing jobs and all the good things. And so I'm excited to be working with DeAndre Adams. And so he's running for one of the districts here in Los Angeles. So there'll be more to come. Hopefully I'm going to be able to bring him on. And so a lot of people want to know what is country soul. So here you go, everybody,
Was
right here.
one of the first ones to ask that.
Well,
Remember when
mhm.
Ronnie first mentioned this to me, y'all, I was like, "There's country and there's soul. What is country soul?" And I didn't
Mhm.
think I knew what it was until he started telling me what it was, and then I
Yep.
realized, "Oh my goodness, I've been listening to that all my life."
Mhm. And you don't, and people really don't understand that it goes back to those times where it was that, that folky music. But when you start talking about, and everybody feel free to check it out in the chat there, I gave you the real definition of country soul. And it's really, really good stuff because you've got people like Ray Charles and Ronnie Millsap and so many other great artists who it's a soulful sound of country. It's not so twangy, but it's more
Mhm.
soulful. And so, and my business partner Marvin, he cares a lot about the genre and the real true definition of country soul. And we're looking at doing an award show as big as the CMAs and all the rest of the big award shows. And Marvin wanted to kind of straighten out uh, the industry a little bit because there are people and they're trying to heap everybody all in one category and say it's country. And he's like, no, there's country soul. And so Marvin wants to kind of go that route. And we're pretty
So
excited about it.
yeah, I can imagine. So, Rodney, it really helped me a lot when
Mhm.
first you told me who some of the country soul artists were. But it
Mhm.
didn't help me all the way because, like you said, there was Ray Charles who actually had, you know,
Mhm.
music albums in more than
Mhm.
one realm, more than one
Yep.
genre. So,
Yep.
give me some ideas with some songs and some people who sang them. What does country soul sound like?
Wow. Country soul, well, you've got Ronnie Millsap, and there's so many great songs. Marvin is an aficionado of Ronnie Millsap songs, and he really, really loves. But you got Dolly Parton. She's a little soulful too, and you've got Aaron Neville, and he was kind of down from Louisiana, so he had that kind of bayou sound to him. So Aaron Neville, of course, Lionel Richie, because he
Mhm.
did. And if it wasn't for Lionel Richie, Kenny Rogers would have never had the song Lady, because Lionel Richie wrote that song and gave it to him. So a lot of cool people. That's right. And everybody from Deanne Carter, and I mean, we can go down, 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 down the whole list of people. And I should, next time, if I would have been thinking, I would have had some country soul for you to see. Actually, I do have a little clip, and these are the Boykin sisters. These are the Boykin sisters, and I believe they were on American Idol. And there are four twin sisters. They are all like identical, and they're just in stages of age. But if you look at them, they all look just alike. And so they were here at the Soul Country Music Star Fest in Los Angeles. Matter of fact, I had a couple of pictures I need to pull up here. And where is the picture at? I have some really cool pictures. There was well, I got a couple of interviews too. Very important. I got one important interview, and I do have something for you to see. But it was the actually have a picture here. What is this? This is Mr. Bowlegs. Mr. Bowlegs actually won the competition. They had actually been looking for artists all across the nation, people that had been auditioning, sending in their tapes. The event, the Country
Mhm.
Soul Country Star, they have actually traveled around the country looking at some of the talent, and that man you see there won $10,000 that night. And so he was very excited, and I got the primo shot of him, and that's Mr. Bowlegs. And so pretty excited for him. He got 10,000 smackaroos, and he said he wanted to be
Wow.
able to, reinvest some of the money into his music and also some of his loved ones. And so it's a pretty cool thing. And so we were very honored too to also have one of our artists, my business partner Marvin Sproul. He actually had a young lady there, and her name is Sapphire Blue. There's Marvin out there on the green carpet, and
Mhm.
he had his artist, and so Sapphire Blue actually performed, and so she is a country soul artist, and so it was a pretty nifty thing for her to be able to get out there and meet some people. And we were excited because um, we were very happy that the organization allowed our artists to perform,
Mhm.
and they just added her to the list of people who kind of opened up for the bigger acts. And we're pretty excited about that. So what do you
Oh,
think?
Elvira said, yeah, I was just noticing Elvira said 2 days ago she bought a Patsy Cline album in a thrift store in Poland,
Mhm.
and
Oh,
she likes
wow.
it. Yeah.
Patsy
So,
Cline.
Rodney, is
Wow.
Patsy Cline country soul?
Patsy Cline. You know what? I would have to check with my business partner Marvin. He's like an aficionado. I
Mhm.
think Patsy Cline, she is more, I believe, more traditional country. I believe she's
I
more
think so too. I
traditional
seem to
country.
remember a little more of that twang in there.
Yeah,
Although
yeah,
maybe
she's
not all of hers had that, but
yeah, but
yeah, the one
they
Spring did.
some of the artists, they kind of change it up and they have different things. And
Mhm.
here's somebody we're talking, Darius Rucker. 350 Music. Yeah, that's right. He's got music all around the world. Everybody loves Darius Rucker. And there's another guy, young man named Kane Brown. And there's
Yeah.
another young lady by the name of Reese Palmer. Reese
Mhm.
Palmer.
Mhm.
And we could go. And of course, the big to do is Beyonce. So she came from out of kind of R&B and soul, and then she just kind of boop, kind of hopped into country. And a lot of people were like, she's not country, and they kind of created a little controversy. But but the record sales they spoke for itself, and maybe it was kind of a little bit because I mean she had millions and millions of people who loved her from the other genre that she did. So they just kind of migrated over and as they say, numbers don't lie. So apparently they loved her doing country too. So, the industry was a little more conservative. And see, that's one thing, when you start talking about country, they're very conservative. The girls are kind of buttoned up and they're very pretty and stuff. And Beyonce came with the heat. she
Yeah.
came with she got a little toasty on them, and they were like, "Whoo, it's a little hot in here." And so it kind of,
Mhm.
one of those kind of things. And so, but hopefully, uh, things will kind of settle down, and she'll stay kind of true to the country soul, and keep it in that genre because sometimes it gets a little far out, and so they kind of got to reel it in a little bit. But
Mhm.
what can you say? Everybody's pretty excited about it, and so we're very honored to say that I was there representing Country Soul Music Magazine. It's all about the music, the lifestyle, the more and more actually, and the travel. It's just that good country living, and that's what the magazine is all about. And if anybody out there wants to take a look, you can actually, matter of fact, I'll put it in the
Yeah,
chat.
I was gonna say, how
www.
can I get that magazine?
Oh, it's Country Soul Music Magazine. Yep, here we go. Magazine.com, making sure everything's right. Yeah, all you got to do is click that little happy little link there, and it'll take you right to the magazine. Oops, there you go. Country Soul Music Magazine. Yeah. And so if you go there, you'll definitely get you know, we're in our rollout phase of the magazine, but you'll see some nice things. And so we're really excited about it because we want to kind of hone in on this genre, and we want to inform our readers out there about upcoming concerts and all the other good stuff. And so we're kind of tweaking, we're tweaking as we go, as we kind of develop. And but we're pretty excited. We've got some events that we're going to go to. I actually have a beautiful Country Soul Music shirt. I have this big logo on the back of a nice white shirt, and I had it with my hat on. And so when I was out there at the festival, I was walking around with my Country Soul Music Magazine shirt, and everybody was like, "Ooh, he's with Country Soul Music Magazine." I was like, "Yep." So they're pretty stoked about that. And so we've got a young lady here reading one of the magazines. Yep. She's got the cover. On the cover of that issue is a young lady by the name of Vicky Van. And Vicky Van, she's one of another associate in Country Soul. So hopefully we'll see where this whole wonderful thing goes. And pretty exciting. Here is a very, very dynamic interview. And this gentleman is with the Bill Pickett Invitational Rodeo. Now, some of you might know Bill Pickett. Bill Pickett was a cowboy, and he was an African American fellow, and there just wasn't any representation for Black cowboys. And so 42 years ago, Bill Pickett said, "You know what? I'm going to bring the cowboys together." And so sure enough, he did everything from bull riding to calf roping to
Wow.
anything that you can see at the PBR, they have. And you see for a first time, well, it's not the first time, it's 42 years of it. Now people can see young people out there barrel racing and doing all this other stuff. They had a young lady here. She had to be about maybe 9 years old, and she was riding that horse, and I guess the horse didn't even feel like it was, it was like this little girl, and boy, that girl was whopping and riding and holding and went around the barrels and took off, and everybody went crazy and cheering. And so pretty cool stuff to see a young lady. Boy, she had a grip holding on to that horse, but it was pretty neat. But here is a very special VIP interview from one of the top. He's actually one of the family members of Bill Pickett, and he is carrying on the flame. He is like executive director all across the nation. This is the main man from the Bill Pickett Invitational Rodeo. And we're here at the Soul Country Music Star Festival with the one and only Mr. Pickett. Thank you, brother. God bless you, man.
God bless you. Thank you. Glad to be here.
It is, well, this is the first ever festival. What do you think about the
It
tournament?
was amazing. I think it was better than they expected. It was such great to see such a turnout and folks out here having a good time, listening to some great music and some wonderful artists. It was a good time.
Sir, the prestigious history of the Bill Pickett Rodeo that has been around for going on 42 years. Am I correct?
Yeah, 42 years next year. It's 41 now.
Okay.
Yeah, 1984.
Yes, sir. And you opened up an opportunity for people of color to be a part of one of the most prestigious sports in the world. And rodeo is it's everywhere. And so to see it happen like that, and now the emergence of the music, what do you think about country soul?
Oh, I think it's great. I think it's about time that it be recognized. There's some incredible talent out here that just needs exposure and access, and I think they will be able to turn this industry around once they get a chance to.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Pickett, thank you, sir, for your time. Thank you for the interview.
Okay, thank you.
All righty.
All right, thank you.
Well, you've seen it right there. That's Mr. Pickett, and he is one of the he is the Bill Pickett Invitational Rodeo, and what an honor to be able to have that interview. Again, representing the Country Soul Music Magazine and the Country Soul Music Star Festival. Yeah, and that gentleman that was on that. Yeah, that gentleman that was on there, Kirk J. Kirk actually won the competition last year, so he won the $10,000. And so this year they moved him from performing to make him a judge. So now the winner from the previous year gets to be a judge, and he was, looking at the other artists, that were up there performing. And I got all the interviews. I got on behalf of the Country Soul Music Magazine, I was able to grab all of the top interviews with everybody. And so we're looking at giving those interviews to the Soul Country Music Festival organizers. We're going to get it to them first, and then we get to share it. And, the Bill Pickett Invitational Rodeo is just wonderful. I mean, it brings out the real cowboys of all age, young and old, and the people get out there and they really get to have a fun time. They get to have a fun time, and they bring their horses out. And some of these guys have those, like the Palominos, with the brown and white spots, and their tails are all braided, and they just manicure these horses. And I mean, they are real showpieces, and they're just really, I don't know if they're Palominos, but they're all of these different, horses. And it's just really neat to be able to see them all out there having a good time. And the people, and I mean, they bring out their big fancy trucks and their trailers. And so it's a real lifestyle. Believe it or not, in the city of Compton, California, there's a lot of funny things that, people always think of Compton as this kind of like wild party place and everything. But believe it or not, right in the middle of Compton is a horse stable. And so there's a group called the Compton Cowboys. And these guys, I mean, it's nothing for you to go see them riding through the city on a horse. And
Oh, wow.
I don't mean just one or two of them. It might be a pack of them. And for whatever reason, the law enforcement leaves them alone because they were there a long time, for 40, 50 years. And so, Compton was kind of more or less like a rural area at one point. So they had a lot of farms and different things. And there were horse stables right in the middle of the city. And so they have created a community. So a lot of the people who still want to be cowboys are right there in Compton, California. So if you Google the Compton Cowboys, you'll see all the information. Pretty neat stuff.
We'll put that in here where
Yeah.
people can see it. Hold on.
Yeah, you could do that. Compton Cowboys. I was trying to see if we had. Oh, and this is the table here with all of the judges, and all the way to the left was Kirk J and Sunny Day. There was another country soul artist all the way to the Kirk is on the right hand side. I guess stage left, and Sunny Day was on the other end, and just a lot of really great people that have been in the entertainment industry for years, and they were there having a good time and just kind of supporting, and so they were the actual judges, and pretty neat to see the performances. They had an electric bull out there, one of the bulls,
Yeah.
the electric bulls, and people were riding that thing, and there was some guy that could manipulate it. He had these joysticks, and so it would, you really had to hold on, because I guess he really knew how to. If you're going to ride, you had to ride, because he could turn it up from slow, medium to advanced, and so there were people out there that were really riding some of them bad cowboys and cowgirls, and so it's pretty interesting to watch.
So did you get on?
Oh, no. I had to go easy on myself because I had a little technical difficulty. I had a little car accident. I don't think that would have did me too well. I needed. No. There was no electric riding for me. No, thank you. I had to pass on it. I watched it. I enjoyed watching other people try to hold on and hang on, but no, I had to pass on that. That was not going to happen. But yeah, there, and I see some questions there. I see a lot of different people comment. Yeah, that's right. The Compton Cowboys. Yep. Please Google them. And
Yeah.
and AC,
They were saying there that he knows. Let me get that back up there. That he knows Reggie Doss and Glenn Turman ride sometime.
oh, Glenn Turman. Yeah, Glenn Turman.
Okay.
Yeah, Glenn. He was a big actor. So if you Google him, Glenn. Matter of fact, I tried to get an interview with him. He's a big star, and been an actor for many years. He was friends with, Louis Gossett and so many other of the great actors that, been in the industry for so long. God rest, Louis Gossett, rest in peace. But, just really fantastic, people that were there, and everybody was there to support. Oh, but if you want to see some high energy stuff, these are the Boykin sisters. I just kind of grabbed a snippet, just 1 minute, but these are the Boykin sisters, and they are from back east. And then, like I said, there are 4 of them. They were on one of the, music shows and did very well. They got, really high numbers and stuff. And here you go, the Boykin sisters. Yeah, so those four sisters, they put on a great show, and they gave me an exclusive interview for the Country Soul Music magazine, so I was excited about that.
Oh,
They were
wonderful.
like the big hit. Believe it or not, they were like some of the big, you know, of the group of big performers that were there, and so they were very special, and we were honored to have them. And so the Soul Country Music Star Festival, you know, came off like without a hitch. That was their first year that they did the festival. Last year they just had the competition. This year they added the festival, so they had food trucks and they had vendors out there, and and of course the Mechanical Bull had a lot of fun stuff going on. And it was just an afternoon, great weather. Thank the Lord we had great weather. And it was a very interesting afternoon. And
It sounds fantastic.
oh yeah, well, and the best is yet to come, because when you start talking about the opportunities, because there are so many artists who have put albums together. I mean, they have CDs of music, and the record labels kind of like, well, I don't know if we, you know, want to distribute that. And you know, a lot of people had things on the shelves. Now we have an opportunity to bring those people out and for them to have their own space, their own. And so we're looking at, you know, me and my partner Marvin, we're looking at every level of this whole music genre. So it could be everything from our own radio station to podcast to you know, music video channels. I mean, all of these things are yet to come. We've already got the Country Soul Music magazine. We're going to be releasing Country Soul wines. We're also going to come up with Country Soul apparel. All of these things we own the IP for. So pretty excited. You know, I mean, we have lots of ancillary things. And of course, DeAndre Adams, he's also, beyond him being a wonderful guy and a you know, loyal servant to the community, he's also well connected in the entertainment industry and music industry. And so I look forward to networking with him and some of our other people. And Bill Montgomery, Bill knows a guy by the name of Jimmy Jam. So there was Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. There's a big, you know, music producers. And so we were all together. I was actually with a guy yesterday. His name was Devrick Williams. Devrick Williams was the gosh, he was he was a backup singer for Tom Jones, and he was a huge, you know, cog in the whole wheel behind you know, Tom Jones, and he worked with Gladys Knight. And so, and then we also have with us Charlie Watts. And Charlie Watts, we actually had lunch yesterday and sat down and talked, actually had coffee and had a meeting about a new project that we're working on. And Charlie Watts was the sound engineer for Michael Jackson. And
wow.
So, yeah, so we've got some pretty
a lot
heavyweight
of talent involved in this.
That's right. And so we're excited about it. And so we've got a project called No Dream Left Behind. And so that's a television series that's going to open up a new technology in music distribution that's going to allow people to, you know, a lot of artists, you know, a lot of people get upset because they look at the streams. They have hundreds of thousands of streams, and the money that comes back to them, the artist, is very minuscule. Well, Devrick Williams has came up with an idea, and we're building a new platform that's going to shift that. And the artists are going to be able to make the real money that they deserve. Of course, we're going to kind of take our little cut off of it, but it's going to be turned around. The way it works now, the record label takes the lion's share and the artists get a little bit. We're going to spin it around. We're going to give the artists a big portion of everything. And we're going to make our money on volume. So we're going to take the slower train. We're going to let the artists get, you know, rewarded for their great creativity and talent. And we're going to do fine because we got some other stuff that we're working, and we'll put it all together.
Well, now I have to ask, Rodney, because I know you can sing.
Oh, wow.
If you get something like that started, are we going to start seeing you record some albums or record some songs?
You know, I actually, matter of fact, it's funny you mentioned that. There is a song. I actually literally have a notepad here that I've started to sketch down a song. And so I'm trying to work it. I'm being very quiet about it, but I do
Oh, I shouldn't have
plan.
asked. Sorry.
Oh no, it's fine. I do plan to finish writing it. I'm going to pin it. It's going to be mine. It's going to be my words. I've got people who want to help me. I'm like, nope. I want to do it myself, and because then it would be authentic. Now, and of course I'll need them for engineering and all the other great stuff, but I am looking to have that possibility of recording. Actually, I don't know if you know this, but I am the youngest person to ever chart on Billboard. I hold the record.
So you're the youngest person. So you must have been like
5
when you
years
were
old.
a child.
I was 5 years old. I was 5 years
Wow.
old, and that was my album, Take Life a Little Easier. And so it was on.
I remember that.
That's
Yeah.
right. So
Yeah.
it's one of those things that I do want to see if I can springboard from that. I mean, I was just a little kid. I kind of sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks. I just had this really high, squirrely little voice but excellent music for kids because it's age appropriate for young people.
Yeah.
So
Well,
parents,
and I think you must have made it very popular because I seem to remember there were several other artists who covered it after you.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we had a great song. Oh, my phone is ringing. Where's my phone at? Ooh, hold on, folks. Sorry about that. Had a little people calling me. Anyway, but no, that was not my agent. That's funny. But there are people, believe it or not, I had a song, the title track to my album was called Take Life a Little Easier, right? Beautiful title. The lyrics, tell you to relax, take it easy, get out, have fun. And believe it or not, Sonny and Cher, when their show was the hottest show on television, they actually sang my song on the show. So it was a pretty neat thing. So hopefully I have the video. So hopefully next time I
was gonna say, I think I found that on YouTube not too long ago where they were singing that.
That's right.
Thankfully, I was able to find it where you were singing it on YouTube.
Yes,
of course, we didn't get to see you in person like we did. Well, video like Sonny and Cher, but they were showing the cover of your album.
Yes.
So yeah. I thought that was pretty cool.
So hopefully, we never know where things are going to go because we have some great opportunities with that, even with music, and hopefully my autobiography will be out soon. It's in the works. I'm actually needing to get more content over to my writer who's writing that, and he's a 2-time best-selling author himself. So hopefully the autobiography will be a hit. That's what we need.
Rodney Allen Rippey story. I'll buy one.
Oh, hey, well, we'll get you one. Don't worry about that.
I want mine signed.
No problem. No problem. We can definitely do that. Yep. And so there will be merch coming soon. So there you go. Country Soul. If you love Country Soul, we'll soon be releasing some things online at the Country Soul Music Magazine. So we're pretty excited about that. There's some good opportunities, and that's what we're hoping to do, Yeah. Oh, Kimba says she can't wait. Okay, most definitely. I appreciate that, Kimba. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll definitely make sure that we get out there and have a little bit of fun with the album. But
you also have to do a book signing tour.
Oh, yeah, that is the plan. I do plan on taking a road trip. So I may be coming to a city near you. I'd like to be able to come back your way, come back to Alabama, come back and see you.
I hope so. You just need to come here to Huntsville.
Huntsville, yeah, that would be
Yeah,
fun.
we're the largest city in the state now, so if you're gonna come to Alabama, you
Wow.
might as well come to the largest city.
That sounds like a plan. That sounds like a plan. Yeah. You know, and then what did DeAndre say? I love you, Nina. Rodney have to go to for his EV charger. That's right. DeAndre is in the process of looking into a business opportunity to bring more EV chargers into the city of Los Angeles because
Oh,
we have a lot of electric cars and
mhm.
there's a lot of um, areas. It's kind of like they have certain things that they call a food desert, where now they have electric charging station deserts. People are
Mm,
saying, I need to charge my car, but they have to go across town. And so now DeAndre and his group of
yeah,
investors and great people are putting together a plan to bring more electric chargers to the city of Los Angeles
mhm,
and the underserved community. A lot of people think, some of the areas that are in the city of Los Angeles, some of the little suburbs and little pockets, they kind of get left out of the action. And so
mhm.
DeAndre is a wise man, and he's looking at how he can bring in electrification in those areas. So that's a big feather in his cap for his political ambitions. And so that's something that we can do now. And so that could be something that he can stand on when he gets into his election. He could say, hey,
Sure.
before I was even
Yeah,
elected, I was doing something great.
yeah, yeah, and that's so needed there. I mean, I've read how, not only is there too few EV chargers in the whole area for people
Mm-hmm.
who are, wanting to use electric vehicles, but
Mm-hmm.
not only that, but when you get to one of them, sometimes you have to wait for hours because there's already people in line ahead of you.
And
So
it's not exactly cheap either, because some people say that, you have to get out there. And so, but I think that there's going to be a balance between that and some of the other alternative fuels, because they're looking at, and then they also are starting to test. I was in West Covina, California the other night, and believe it or not, I stopped at a Chevron gas station, and I was like, boy, this is a strange looking pump. And it was hydrogen. It was a hydrogen
what?
gas pump. Oh yeah.
Oh
Yep.
my goodness.
Right there off the 10 freeway. Yeah, off the 10 freeway in West Covina, there is a hydrogen gas pump at a gas station. It's just this b- kind of big honking red. It was strange looking gas pump, and I kept looking at it. I said, "What is that big old
Yeah,
thing?" And it was
I thought hydrogen was pretty volatile, combustible.
no. Apparently, no. They apparently it is. It's doing fine. I mean, matter of fact, I talked to this gentleman who he had a Hyundai. Hyundai came out with this. Yeah, it was Hyundai. Hyundai came out with this hydrogen vehicle, and it was so it was like a test market. And he said the deal that he got for this car was amazing. It was like half off. And
Mhm.
if you came in and said, "Hey, I'm going to put down 25,000," he got that car, and because he paid like that, he also got a secondary deal where they paid half of his fuel. And it was incredible. He says basically he was driving the car for free, and I was like,
Mhm.
wow. And they only made the car for a couple of years because they were just testing it out. But yeah, there was a Hyundai, and it was hydrogen. I forgot the
Wow.
name of the car. I met him, and I stood there and talked to him for a while, but it was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah, well, I have a lot of questions about that because at the moment, I'm reading a book about the Hindenburg, which
Mm-hmm.
was fueled by hydrogen, and that's
Mm-hmm.
part of what, you
Oh, it
know
kind of made it go kapow. Yeah.
so I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute."
Yeah, well, but they say that yeah, it can. Well, that they've worked on the volatility of it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, there have been weird things that have happened with electric cars, and there have been cars that just kind of
Oh, yeah.
combusted, you know, just
Well,
out of
it's
nothing.
not like gasoline isn't combustible either, you know,
That's
it
right.
is.
That's
So
right.
I'm
So yeah.
sure, yeah, I had never heard of that before. So
Mhm.
I'm like, wow, that's
Yeah.
pretty amazing what's going
Yes.
on. And
So
I've
they're
heard
mhm,
before
mhm.
that actually back in the early 1970s, there was a man who developed a car that ran on water.
Right. And they had a and
Yeah.
there was and then they said there was a lot of strange things that happened towards that guy too. That they
True.
and the car came up missing. This they
Yeah.
I know. The
Like
car
they didn't
came up.
want that technology to get out because
Yeah, and
it
they
was
they
money out.
said that car came someone stole that car and that was it. And I was
Mm.
like, "Ooh," and that's it kinda gives you the goosebumps when you start thinking about that. You know, you try to do something good for the world, and there's
Mhm.
some people go, "Hey, buddy, you're cutting into our profits. Don't do that."
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, so that's kinda a thing that hopefully we will have more fair and square business, if you know what I mean, because I think
Mhm.
that if technology enables us to do that, then they could find some other way, you know, to kind of I don't know. I better be quiet.
Well,
I don't
I
wanna
think,
end up
you know,
yeah.
it's, um I think what we're learning from things like that is mostly that
Mhm.
when you develop things like that, you have to keep it
Mhm.
quiet until you're ready to make it public, you know, until you've got
Yeah.
investors and you've got the technology and the formula on paper and, you know, safeguarded somewhere in a vault
Mhm.
somewhere or something like that,
Yeah.
and people invested in it. So then, you know, there's no point in anybody trying to steal that one
Mhm.
car or, you know, harm that one person because
Yeah.
it's already out there anyway. Somebody else is gonna take it up and run with it.
Yeah,
So,
you
and
have to
everybody, you know,
yeah.
everybody needs to adapt as new technology comes along. And I'm saying that as an old person who, you know, has seen a
Oh.
lot happen in my lifetime. I keep thinking about the stuff that my grandmother saw, you
Right,
know,
right.
how the world changed during the course of her lifetime. But the thing is, if you don't adapt to the new technology, if
Mhm.
instead you hold back and you say, "Oh, everybody's got to, um, you know, just stick with what we're all familiar with already,"
Yeah.
and we don't end up with the things that we've got now that we're all enjoying. We would never have smartphones
Right.
today. We would never
I'll
have
tell you what.
cameras on our phones.
And you know
Yeah.
what is really interesting? You know, in my community the other day, I saw a Amazon truck that was electric.
Mm,
They now have, you know, UPS trucks and
mhm.
Amazon trucks, and these things are totally electric. And I'm thinking, wow, they must have a very strong system because a lot of times they were saying, you know, when you're pulling a load, that kind of wears the batteries down. But for whatever reason, boy, they got that thing dialed in, and these little
Mhm.
delivery guys, I mean, they're big trucks and they're zipping around and, you know,
Mhm.
0 footprint as far as on the carbon side. So, you know, these
No, and
companies are
you know,
stepping
the
up.
more it's done, the better the technology is gonna get. More and more people will
Mhm.
start thinking of things and innovating, and who knows what we'll see in the future.
Well, the thing that they're trying to do now, I don't know how it is in your city, but here in Los Angeles, they have a lot of scooters, electric scooters.
Mm.
And man, they have these electric bikes, and they're like a cross between a motorcycle and a dirt bike. And man, you know, most people, these things are kind of on bike trails, but this thing has enough speed to get in the middle of the street. And
Wow.
people are zipping around, and sadly, there have been some people who've been injured, you know, And there was a
It doesn't seem like there's much protection to be on something like a bicycle that you're out in traffic that way.
right,
Yeah.
and these guys, and I mean, you see them and they're doing stunts and riding wheelies and stuff like that, and they're really people are just they're having a lot of fun out here in transportation. Sadly, there's a young lady named Tweety, and Tweety, she just actually for Halloween, she did a what they call a trunk and treat. I think I had my bag around here. They gave me a nice little to-go bag, but it was one of those safe haven things that they did in the park where the kids come to the park and they know where all the candy came from and everybody. So they did a car show and everything. But sadly, Tweety was on one of those electric scooters and she was zipping from home and she was just going to do a quick errand up the street and she wrecked and she hurt her knee pretty bad. And so she was on crutches at her event. It was just terrible timing, but thank goodness she's okay, or she's getting better, thank goodness. But it could have been worse, but you really have to be careful when you're out there on these little electric scooters because they can hurt you if you're not careful.
Yeah,
So,
I can imagine.
But,
Well, it makes me think of what they used to say, when motorcycles became a thing back when, in my day, actually in my parents' day, because my uncle had some really amazing, cool looking motorcycles.
Really?
Yeah, I've got pictures of him on those motorcycles. It's
Were they
incredible.
Harley Davidson? Were they choppers or were they
He had a Harley
custom?
Davidson. He had one, I think, that was called an Indian.
Oh, Indian,
No,
yeah.
yeah, I'd never heard of that before until I saw his pictures. But yeah, that's the sort of stuff that he had. But there was a saying when I was growing up because it seemed like a lot of the teenage boys in my school wanted to get or did get a motorcycle so they could, take it to and from work, that sort of thing.
Right.
And the saying went that you gave your son a motorcycle for his last birthday.
Oh goodness. Well,
Yeah.
well, you have to be careful. I actually, I rode actually when I started riding a motorcycle when I was 9 years old. That's right.
Oh, wow.
I was 9 years old. I'll have to show you a picture of me at age 9 and my motorcycle. I'll have to find you the picture out. And I was proud to say I had a Yamaha. It was a little dirt bike, but I shout out to Yamaha. Need to make them our sponsor. But yeah, you kind of learn when you're riding motorcycles, you have to be careful and but you always know that you can, you don't have much protection. So you got to be real careful, very, very, very careful. But all is well. I managed to kind of enjoy the art of motorcycle riding and keep it safe. But now that I'm older, I'm like, I was thinking about getting one. I was like, no. The way that I ride, when I do ride, I don't ride all in the traffic. I'm a backstreet guy. So I'm riding on the lonely back streets. I am not in major traffic. And trust me, I'm super careful because you got to ride slow and give yourself space and make sure you're giving everyone else space. Boy, man, I tell you, I was out here in California. They allow lane splitting. I don't know if you know what that is, but when you're in traffic, oh no. And one guy went by me and hit my mirror on my car with his handlebars. And luckily he just nicked me and I heard it go ding and he flipped my mirror and I was like, whoa. And he kept going, but I was thinking, I was like, boy, that was close. And I was straight. I don't know if he moved to get away from the car next to him, but sometimes there are big trucks and they have just like a big 4x4 truck. This is a normal truck, but they have the extended mirrors, and so those guys are dipping and dodging around the mirrors, and you got to be careful. But anyway,
yeah, that's
hopefully,
why I'm not a fan.
yeah.
I've seen, and as a driver, a car driver, I've seen guys before where they're coming up behind you, and maybe they're in your blind spot and you can't see them, but you've already put on your blinker, you're getting ready to make a lane change, and you're getting over, and they're actually coming up and splitting between the lanes. And I had once where I almost turned right into one.
Yeah. You gotta be, well, and see that when you're driving, always give yourself extra time, because these motorcyclists are out there. So they say, look for them. Don't just change lanes and go, just kind of glance into the mirror and start changing, because those guys come from out of nowhere.
I know. And that was the thing. I had noticed him, behind me already in the lane behind me, but he was several cars back, behind me.
Yeah.
And I had seen him back there. And like I said, we were slowing down. I saw that up ahead of me, they had blocked one of the lanes. They were doing some construction or something. It was narrowing to one lane. So I'd already turned on my blinker. I was getting ready to get in the next lane. And all of a sudden, here he comes up. And he didn't clip my mirror, but he was that close. And I thought if I had kept on going, I would have, he would have caught the side of my car.
I was on the freeway one day, and it was a strange thing. Traffic was going, and we weren't going that fast, maybe like around 20 miles an hour, because traffic was bad. It was during rush hour, and I was heading home, and I'm just kind of poking along. And I remember seeing this guy pass me up on a motorcycle, and I saw him go by, and then all of a sudden I didn't see him anymore. I was like, that was strange. Where'd that guy go? I just looked down for a second. I looked up and he was gone. I was like, where did he go? And when I got up, all of a sudden the traffic stopped. And that guy apparently was not paying attention, and the car stopped in front of him. He hit that car, and believe it or not, tucked and dove right through the back window. Head first, all he did was tuck, and his helmet just boosh, and he took out the whole back window. So as I drove up, I was like, what's going on? Why did the traffic stop all of a sudden? The guy got out, and he flipped his mirror up, and he was laughing. He literally was laughing. He flipped his mirror up, and he was dying laughing. And I was like, wow, at least he could laugh. And the lady apparently she was horrified, because she was still sitting there in the car like this, just didn't know what to do. And all of a sudden, the back door, it was a 4-door car, the back door swings open. And I was like, whoa. And as I drove by, the guy got out and flipped his visor up, and he was laughing. And he dove right through the back window.
He was probably just so glad to be alive.
Yeah. I guess he knew exactly when he hit that car, it threw him right through the back window. Boosh. So,
just imagine how easily, even with a helmet protecting your head, you could still get a concussion. You could actually compress some.
Yeah. Well,
in your spine.
But with his motion, and luckily he hit it perfectly. He did.
Well, and I think God must have been with him.
You can shatter a back window pretty easy, but when you had a helmet, I guess the force, and as soon as he hit it, he was in the back seat. So I was like, wow.
That is amazing. Well, praise God that he was okay.
Yes, of course. Of course.
It's not just the surviving. He could have been really badly injured.
Yeah.
And,
he got out.
Get out, and
as he got out, I saw him. He flipped his visor up, and he was laughing, and he was doing this, and he was shaking glass out of his leather, because he had this big leather jacket on, and he was shaking. He got out of the car and laughing and shaking it off. And I was like, wow. I was like, whoa. I drove past him. I was like, wow. So, But all over and overall, just life in general, you just got to be careful and you always be aware. There's a lot going on. And thank goodness. Oh, hey, big shout out to the Dodgers. The LA Dodgers won the World Series there. They were in Toronto, Canada, and that was game 7. They took it all the way to game 7 and won. They pulled it off. There's going to be I think it might be going on today or something, but they're going to have a big parade for these guys and gals and everybody with the Dodger organization. So big shout out to the Dodgers. Go Dodgers. Big parade for them, and they deserve it because
and congratulations.
They brought the title home.
Is this the second year in a row they brought home the title? That's what I thought. Yeah.
Those boys are bad. Yeah, they got out there and they did it, man. I tell you, it's back to back, so that's a good thing.
Well, since we're giving shout outs, I have to give a shout out to my grandson's ball team, his football team, because they won the citywide championship last week.
Congratulations. Tell those guys congratulations. Yeah.
Yeah, he was really proud of his team, and I don't blame him. I'm really proud of him too. And have to give another shout out to my granddaughter, who is a cheerleader for that same team. The cheerleading squad won the regional competition. So they are regional champs. Yeah.
Wow, they doubled up. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I hope we can get some pictures of the football team and the cheering squad.
I will send them to you. Maybe we'll share them next week.
Yes, let's share.
Let's share a picture of your motorcycle.
I will do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send you the picture of my uncle with his motorcycle.
That sounds like a deal.
Yeah. We'll just share some family stories.
Yeah, we got a lot. It's funny, as I just recently moved too. I'm like you, and I am finding, historical gold, literally, because I'm finding things that I hadn't seen in a while, and I'm like, what is this? And I open it up, I'm like, whoa, that's where that is. It's kind of, but oh Lord, I'm trying to downsize, and I'm like, so everything, I got
That's
everything,
a job, isn't it?
Yeah, I got everything from my black Stetson to my cowboy boots. It was funny. I opened a box. I was like, oh, leather chaps. I had and it was funny. In high school, everybody was kind of like cowboys. And it was the funniest thing. Some of my high school friends remember. I actually got spurs. So I would come down the hallway in my boots, and I had spurs with real spurs.
Ooh.
And I was when I did things, I did it all the way. And so I walked down the hallway and I was like, pookum, pookum, pookum. And it was like chinky, chinky, chinky. So I sound like a cowboy, like in the Wild West. So yeah, I enjoyed doing it. I still actually have them. I found them and I was like, my spurs. So yeah, had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun in high school. Some of my classmates hit me up. They said that we're supposed to be having our 45th or something like that coming up next year. So I've got to take a trip to the East Coast. I definitely got to go home. Southeast Guilford High School and our friend,
yes, Rhonda.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rhonda Cersei, our that is, Lord is amazing. When you said that you knew Rhonda, that just blew me away. I could not believe, out of all the people in the world, how you knew her. That was amazing, really.
I know. That just stunned me when she told me, when I told her who my co-host was, and she said, wait a minute, you mean Rodney Allen Rippey? And I was like,
yep.
Yeah. And I thought she probably knew you from your career,
Right.
And so I was so floored when she said, I went to school with him.
Do you know, I will tell you this. I was brand new in North Carolina and I was quiet. I was sitting there. I didn't know anybody, no one. And do you know, honest, truthful, Rhonda started talking to me one day and she said, where are you from? And I said, well, I'm from California. She said, everybody thought I talk funny, and I was like, "Oh, y'all talk funny," but they thought I talk funny. I was like,
Mhm.
"Do I?" And they were like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Really?" And so the weird thing was, Rhonda became honestly one of my first friends that I ever met when I came to North Carolina. She was one of my first classmates that started talking to me, and she was very nice to me, and I was just like, wow. And she's like, I'll be your friend. And I was like, really? I was like, okay.
She's
So
still
she always had a sweetheart. So she was always very kind to people. And so for a long, long time, I cannot believe that out of all the people in the world, you knew Rhonda Searcy.
I
Amazing.
I feel very blessed to know her too,
Yeah.
because we're in the same business,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
but we're not. Well, we're on the same bigger team, but we're not on the same
Competitive.
small team.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so just the opportunity to get to meet her,
Mhm.
and
And I'm
now,
proud of her. I'm proud of
yes,
her because
and now
and
we've
she
done things together, and we've actually, we do
Mhm.
things together on a regular basis
and
now.
I'm proud of her because she's very stoked because she lost like 20 pounds, 25 pounds or something like that.
Did. She
So I
looks
was
amazing, and she feels wonderful. That's
yeah.
even better. She feels so much better.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm happy for her. I'm happy for her. Yeah.
She's helping other people figure out how to get healthy too, so, so
Good
proud
for
of her for that. Yeah.
her. Mhm. Yeah. Well, it is that time again.
It
We've had fun chatting here. I hope everybody has too. Make sure you check out again Soul Country Music Star. Make sure you
Mhm.
check them out. Also check out our magazine, Country Soul Music Magazine. And always keep coming back every Monday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, right here on the chat session on the This Way Network. And I've got
10:30 Central Time.
yeah, I got
Yay.
my little clock. Oh, no,
Yeah.
no kisses. You go, oh, yeah, oh no, you don't need to do all that. Little squirt. Yep, I know.
You
See,
know what happens, Rodney, every week this happens
yeah,
where she's trying to kiss you and you're not letting her kiss you, and
it's
it's
okay.
kind of you're
What?
kind of building up the suspense. It kind of reminds me of some of the old TV shows where,
Yeah.
time after time you saw the attraction and you just ended up thinking,
Do you
"Will they
know
ever kiss?" So,
she
one of
knows
these days.
she knows exactly when we're gonna end. I'm telling you, she was fine until it's just like she's like her little clock goes off and she's like, okay, it's time to go.
10 o'clock, yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. I see you. Oh my goodness. She comes to me and she's like, okay, let's go walk. Okay, well, everybody, Mika says goodbye. And again, God bless you. Have a good week. And make sure you tell somebody you love them. Don't just tell them, show them. And I'll let you wrap it up there, Nina.
Yes, and y'all be of good courage. God is with us, and we aren't alone. Bye,
Okay.
everybody.
See you later. Take care. We'll see you next week right here on the
The
chat
This
session.
Way Yeah.
That's right. See
Bye-bye,
you later,
everyone.
y'all. Bye-bye.